But implementing the same, that's where the problem is. Then we find ourselves with half-baked systems like this one.
Thank you, Fred. When you talk about governance, government is about systems. Government is always about institutions, systems, processes, procedures working. So we always say, if you must change a system, if you come to government, remember, politicians come to government. It's politicians who fight government. Government is always there. We have had government since, actually even before independence, we had a government, the colonial government. It's a system thing, it's an institutional thing. So if you must change a system you found in government, it must be absolutely clear it is needful. And it serves the interest of the public. That's number one principle. So number two, why is it that maybe for this government, we have had very radical changes on very major systemic issues, institutional issues, so many of them. You know, housing, health, university funding model, now this one. Now, for example, who came up with this? Where is the study? That's all the question we're asking, without going to the details of the technical issues on whether or not to drop mathematics.
Although CBC did not just start with this administration, it started in 2017.
And the same question
same
for me is a principle. Is a principle of what was it really necessary? For me, that's a question I'm asking, because anything that happens when you change a system, it involves a lot of money, a lot of issues affecting so many people. So that's the first question I'm asking. Was it really done? Now, here it comes. We have this pronouncement. The question is, there is issue of communication. Involve the stakeholders. If you must change anything, let people know. And please, but the mistake that happens, Fred, is that once government changes power, they think that for some reasons, maybe personal interest or otherwise, they have to push in through something. Now, therefore, the voice of the court, people will go to court, everything will happen, but they will, the government will ride over and say, no, we have decided because of other interpersonal interests. And that's where the problem happens. That's where disconnect happens between the governors, with the people in government, and the governed. That's where disconnect comes in, because people begin complaining. But coming to this issue particularly, Fred, this is my thinking. We know that in the international curriculum, mathematics in the senior level is optional. We also know that anyway. It's optional. You can decide to, because the thinking is that by the time you are in the junior secondary, you have more or less picked your pathway. You know which way you are going to take. If it's sports, if it's some other careers that may not necessarily, I'm saying very conservative, may not necessarily need mathematics. But now that choice is a very delicate path, because we know mathematics is mathematics. We did not that we didn't pursue mathematics in our university or college level, but we did it up to some point so that you can make a decision on what you want to pursue afterwards. So my question is, this is a balancing thing that needs a lot of engagement. The problem I would have, Fred, is when a pronouncement is made in Nairobi by a certain CS, when the people who are supposed to consume that information or directive don't know, have no idea how it will be implemented. That is all my issue. Okay. And that's where always across the world, maybe in Africa more, that's where always government gets it wrong. The issue of communication, the issue of moving around with the people, the stakeholders, the kids, the students, the teachers. Why should a pronouncement be made? And then even among the stakeholders, there's so much uproar because communication is wrong. Right. There are people who think that this should be done by whichever. Then the people begin suspecting, why was that pronouncement made? Is there some people who want to benefit elsewhere? Is there some people who want to benefit from this or that? Now, the issue of the mix-up of personal interest and lack of communication, miscommunication, and communication, that's what brings all the trouble.
We have a communications expert with us here.